Welcome to Tutorial Tuesday. My name is Lauren, and today we're going to learn how to collect seeds from a couple of different plants. Sunflowers and arugula. Here are the sunflowers, two varieties, and then here's the arugula in the seed pod stage, fresh and then dried. So, like I was saying, I've got a couple of different varieties of sunflowers here. These are from my friend Debbie's garden. This particular sunflower is a beautiful one. It got pretty big. I would say like a large to medium to large size. It has flowers that look very similar to this one, where you've got like the yellow tips, but then this really beautiful red bronze halo in the center. And then she had sunflowers that were about this size, kind of a small size, like cats coming in the door. And these had beautiful, bright yellow halo of flowers that were just pure yellow. And so I've got two different seeds here to collect from her. But what I want you to notice is on the back of this flower, I don't know if you can see me, it started to fade yellow. It was usually bright green back here, like this one, right? But as the flowers begin to age, the petals come off, it starts to fade in the back, it starts to dry up on these bracts on the edges. And that's when you know it's a good idea to clip off your flowers from the main plant, like I have done with this one, and let it sit out to dry. So as it sits out in an open area with a lot of circulating air and sun, I'm under an umbrella right now, but this would be great to be open in an area of full sun to let these very flexible, still slightly damp flower heads become more brittle. This one's a little bit more brittle. This one's definitely brittle like this. So that I can't move this anymore, and the seeds are ready to be pulled out of them. And because this one is big and easier to show you, I'm going to pull the seeds out of this one. These seeds are kind of really dark brown to black. And all I'm doing is bending the seed head so that I can rub my fingers, my thumb is good, and my fingers along the top of it and just pull the seeds out of the seed head just like this. It takes a little massaging to do it, but it's fairly easy. And with these seeds being so big, you know what you're going for and what you're not going for. There's some extra material, kind of plant material along the seed head that's called chaff, and those are just the other parts of the reproductive part of the plant that were in play to produce the seed. So those are the seeds that I've just pulled out of that sunflower seed head, if you can see those. And I've just been keeping them in this little container here that's overflowing now so that I can store them in envelopes or a jar later. And that's another important part. You're going to need to have some containers, envelopes, thanks Candace, or jars. I can't remember who gave you this beautiful cute little jar so that you can hold the seed. You can also hold them in a plastic bin like this one I have. This one happens to have holes at the top so it can continue to dry the seed out. But no matter if it had any ventilation, the seeds will start to dry out. They just naturally do that. Hello, kitty. This is Sparky. You say hi? I'm doing a little video. So that's the sunflower seed head. Now I gotta show you this big one that Letty and I harvested yesterday because it's just mammoth. Oh, I was saying about the envelopes. Have your envelopes handy. Have these envelopes labeled. So I just wrote what it was on this label, or just write directly on the plant what these seeds are when you put them inside. It's good to do that ahead of time because it's always sort of like me. Sometimes I get into a rush and I'll forget it. I think I'll remember. You don't remember. You might as well just label them right before you get started, and that way you're just putting them in the seed bags. So I've got the name or general description of the flower on here. I've got the date, general, that it's harvested. If you don't know the exact date, the month is perfect. The year is also good. So Debbie harvested these heads last month sometime. So I've got July 2020 here, and I've got her name on it so that I can come contact her if I can't remember something or I had some follow-up questions about it. Same with any jar. Just label it. I had another one here. Oh yeah. Label it with the seeds that you're going to put in there. No surprise there. And any kind of other container that you've got going. So that's always great housekeeping. Start with that part first. Have your kids do the fun part so that you can do the organizational part, and then you meet in the middle. But here's this huge sunflower I want to show you. Can you believe this? Oh my gosh. So this is one of the first flowers that sprouted up in our neighborhood this spring. It was starting to grow about this high, probably way back in March or early April. And it grew to over 13 feet and produced this. I mean, it's probably a 14 to 16 inch diameter seed head here. Just the one flower at the top. It was gorgeous. And so it just dried on its own on the plant. You can see the back looking very similar to the back of the one that I just cut. But this one was farther along. It's still kind of wet because it's a big flower head, right? And it's still living, or it was since yesterday. And it's still got a lot of dampness in it. A lot of the seeds are gone because birds and other seed-loving people like me, seed-living creatures like me, took some seeds out of it. But my neighbor Letty was happy to have me take it. She was ready to take it down. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just rubbing my fingers, using my thumb and the pressure against them to pry these seeds out of the seed head. And there you have it. There they are. Now I want to show you how to collect seed from arugula, which produces a seed pod. So I'll meet you over that way. Hello again. So here I am at this table with a lot of arugula, which is a spicy leafy green plant. You might have eaten them in salads. And I grew that out this spring until about late spring when they completely went to flowers and then produced these seed pods. So these aren't the actual flowers that came from them. These are the pods that were a part of that flowering piece. Maybe you can see the pods very well. See, that is the pod. So the flowers dropped off, dried up and dropped off, and the pods are the parts of the flower that are holding the seed. So in order to get seeds from something like this, that holds a pod, kind of the same way a bean has a pod like this way, and this kind of bean. These are still drying out, so I'm not going to open them up. All I'm doing is just cracking open the pod. And they're about 3 parts. There's 2 coats and this really interesting and pretty middle part that's in there. So for each one, I'm just kind of twisting a little, cracking it open, letting the tiny, tiny seeds fall out. Can you see how tiny these are? They're really small. And another good activity for kids and adults alike, just lazy morning, afternoon, drinking some coffee, getting your day started. Just come out here on the table and crack open some of these seeds, right? That's what I was doing. In order for us to get a start on the next time we want to plant this arugula, which could be right now if you wanted to. So as I do that and as I collect some, I'm going to keep these in a big jar because I know I'll have a lot. I've got all this that I'm going to need to extract the seed from. I'm going to stick them in the jar, which has already been labeled, but I'm also going to put this in the jar so that I've got any extra information that the commercial seed company provided about how to plant it. Then I'm going to keep this in a cool, dry place. Dark too would be good. That's the way seeds like to be stored until they're ready to be put into the ground, and then they do their thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. We learned how to get seed out of the seed heads of sunflowers, and how to get seed out of the pods of an arugula plant, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you again soon.